Welcome back, and these are the visuals of Prime Minister Modi being given the ceremonial welcome as he will be meeting President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Both of them together as part of the ceremonial welcome. Prime Minister Modi is on a 6-hour visit to the UAE as part of the stopover from France back to India. UAE and India share an extremely important connect, not only in terms of whether it be defense, energy or technology deals, but also in terms of the cultural connect between the two countries. If we talk about the expats alone, a considerable population of the UAE, around 30% of the country's population, are accounted by the Indian expatriate. Both of them at this point meeting Prime Minister Modi, being accorded the ceremonial welcome before the talks, the dialogues between both Prime Minister Modi as well as the President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. And Prime Minister Modi's visit to UAE coming just hours after he left Paris. He was in Paris for 2 days, where some very important bilateral decisions were taken. It was a meeting where Prime Minister Modi was also the guest of honor for the Bastille Day, that's the National Day of France. And on his way to India, he is now in UAE, where he's going to be meeting the UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed as part of not only the bilateral talks, but also the deep connect between the UAE as well as India. And I'm being joined by Anjana Shankar, who is a senior journalist at the National in Abu Dhabi right now. Thank you very much, Anjana, for joining us at this point. Anjana, the ceremonial welcome has been accorded to Prime Minister Modi. How significant really is what we are witnessing right now? It's not perhaps the first time for sure. It's almost 5 visits by Prime Minister Modi during his tenure of being the Prime Minister in India, but very, very deep cultural and geopolitical connections here.
Yeah, thank you, Sneha. As you said, this is indeed not the first time that Prime Minister Modi is visiting the UAE. This is, in fact, the 5th time that PM Modi is in the UAE, which is definitely indicates how important this relationship is for India with the UAE, and also for the Prime Minister Modi, the bilateral relations and the diplomatic cooperation between the two countries has been on an upswing ever since Mr. Modi took office in 2014. So what we see here is, is that the timing is also, which is very crucial, where India is hosting the G20 presidency, where the UAE is a special invitee, and at the same time, in a few months, at the end of this year, the UAE will be hosting a COP28, the most important climate summit. It's almost a year since India and UAE signed the historic CEPA, which is the Comprehensive Economic Agreement to bolster trade and economic partnership. So when you put it all in the context, this meeting is very important for both the countries, where both the leaders will discuss ways to take this forward and deepen the existing ties and strengthen their bilateral relations, especially in trade and commerce.
Right, Anjana, and also the very interesting geopolitical environment in which the two leaders really are meeting at this point. One with the waging war, second the challenges with the energy. Also a lot in terms of the issues that the Indian expats have been facing in the UAE. So all of these things also will be very important for discussions. Are they likely to come up as part of the discussions?
Yeah, from what we understand now is from the during the high-level talks, especially between Mr. Modi and the UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, there will be a wide-ranging discussion on issues, very key issues for both the countries, especially when it comes to energy, defense, and food security. These will be the key areas. And we know that after the high-level talks, there will be also a delegation-level talks from government to government, and we are expecting a few MOUs or agreements being signed, an announcement. We are tracking the story, but as we go, I hope we will get more updates on what specific agreements will these two countries sign to take a SEPA forward and also to strengthen the ties. You spoke about the geopolitics of the region. I was speaking to the UAE ambassador to India yesterday, and he told me that especially with this changing global power shift, especially in the context of the ongoing Ukraine war and also new relationships and the changing power equation in the Middle East with Israel, with Turkey, with Iran. The UAE and India strengthening ties is both the countries are looking at a win-win for both of them. The UAE considers India, the ambassador said, as a very strong global voice which will grow in the coming years. And for UAE, India is one of the most reliable partners in the Middle East. So in that context, this is a very significant meeting between the two leaders and taking this relationship to a new high.